Hey guys, what's up? Rick Pete back with a new video for you. This is a review of this week's Raw. Now, it's not going to become a regular weekly thing. I'm not going to review Raw every week. I'm merely doing it this week for one reason. Well, two reasons actually. One reason is that I really enjoyed it. And the second reason is something that will become apparent. Anybody who spotted the t-shirt may know what's coming. Obviously, if you have seen Raw, you may well know what I'm going to talk about. If you haven't, then turn off now and come back when you've watched Raw and then you can find out. So without further ado, I'm going to get on with this part of the video because this is going to be a two-part video. This is the first part. I was wanting to post this yesterday, but after receiving some news, well, a message, I decided to put it on hold and I'm going to post it today. So I'll get on with the first bit, which is my review of this week's Raw, and then the second bit will follow straight after, in which you'll have to wait and find out. So yeah, without further ado, this week's Raw started with Shane coming to the ring. Massive crowd ovation again. He mentioned how he'd been put in charge last week for Vince's personal pleasure, and how Vince must be really enjoying it because he's in charge again. But due to huge social media reaction, he'd been put in charge of Raw again. So he said it would be a night of new superstars and chances. Then announced that Sami Zayn would be getting a match against AJ Styles, seeing as how he was robbed last week of his chance due to Kevin Owens. So if Zayn wins the match, he gets put into the Styles Reigns WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Payback, which would obviously make it a triple threat. Kevin Owens came out complaining about how he was robbed and demanded basically an IC title rematch right there and then. Shane told him that if he could beat his opponent tonight, he'd get a shot at The Miz for the IC title at Payback. Kevin Owens wasn't very happy, but the match went ahead. Technically, Kevin Owens is still eligible for a rematch, but as is Zack Ryder, but I don't see Zack Ryder's ever coming to I think Zack Ryder is on SmackDown, so yeah, that casts that. But Kevin Owens is still legitimately entitled to a title shot. But yeah, anyway, Shane made it so that if Owens could beat his opponent that night, then he'd get a shot at Miz for IC title at Payback. And he announced that Owens' opponent would be the Swiss Superman Cesaro. So that was it. Owens was in the ring ready. Cesaro comes to the top of the ramp in a suit again. He did the same as he'd done the week before. Just ripped the suit off, ready, revealing he was ready to go with his ring gear. So yeah, opening match is set. I'm a fan of both guys, so I couldn't really choose a winner. My only thought at the beginning of this match was that whoever faced Miz, I really hope they beat him. It was a great match. Cesaro had his shoulder that had been injured taped up, which basically was just a big bullseye for Owens. He was just targeting the shoulder all the time. But eventually, Cesaro got the win, hit the neutralizer, and pinned Owens. So he moves on to Payback to face The Miz. I have read that the plans are for Cesaro to take the IC title to Miz. I really, really hope this is true, but I don't know how true it is because it's on the internet. You can't always take it as gospel. So yeah, moving on. There was a recap of last week's segment involving the women's division, which led into a backstage scene with Charlotte and Ric Flair, and Charlotte complaining about having to defend the women's title against Natalya. Rick was agreeing with her, and then Dr. Phil, who was the big guest of Raw that night, appeared and went on about how he's watched Charlotte's rise. Yeah, of course he has. From NXT to where she is now, and that Rick's holding her back and she needs to stand on her own 2 feet and stop cheating to win and all this sort of stuff. I actually agree. Although originally Charlotte was supposed to be trying to make a name for herself on her own. That's why they didn't give her the Charlotte Flair. They just gave her the Charlotte name. It seems now that all of a sudden Rick's there, and as I've said before, interfering in her matches, he needs to go away. He really does. Leave her alone and let her do her own thing. You've had your career, now go on and let her do her thing on her own and stay well away. Watch from the crowd by all means, but stop getting involved because you're just demeaning everything she does. So yeah, then the New Day come out with a boring speech about who will face them for the tag team titles and just basically New Day shite as usual. So we had the first match of the tag tournament. I'm saying match, it wasn't really a match. Lucha Dragons versus the Dudleys. I like the Lucha Dragons, but I didn't rate the chances against the Dudleys. The match started during the commercial break, and it came back to Kalisto being on the floor outside the ring. And Dudleys basically just went after Sin Cara. Dudley's hit the 3D in what was a one-sided 2-on-1 match pretty much. Sin Cara got a little bit of offense in, but nothing major. While the Dudleys were in the ring celebrating, Enzo and Cass came out to a huge crowd pop. They had a verbal with the Dudleys, and Enzo is just gold on the microphone. The Dudleys run about how they paved the way for teams like that, and basically Devon said, "Oh, you're only here because we paved the way." Enzo's response were, "I'm here because my mum and dad got it on." I thought that was brilliant. The crowd seemed to just really get behind it, and it was just amazing. Then went back to a backstage segment where Owens getting a scar from the building after previously Shane McMahon had told him that he weren't going to cost Sami Zayn the match after. Well, Owens had said he was going to interfere in the match and cost Sami, so Shane had said he was going to have him removed from the building, so they did. Roman Reigns came out to massive boos. I can only imagine that they might have been louder on the night due to WWE's tendency now to temper with the volume when Reigns comes out, try and mute out the boos. He gave a little bit of a spiel, used his not a bad guy, not a good guy, I'm the guy line, which I think is something he should stick with. I think it suits him. He was interrupted by the League of Nations. Sheamus asked Reigns how he'd feel about facing one of them. Mentioned how they removed Barrett's and he was a weak link, etc. And then complained about how they were left out of the Fatal 4-Way last week. Reigns told them come down to the ring, I'll kick and all of you can get your asses whooped. They did, and then all of a sudden the Wyatts appeared and cleared the ring of the League of Nations. So it looks like this could be an upcoming feud. Wyatt family versus League of Nations. I personally would like to see the Wyatt family go after the new booty and destroy him and become tag team champions, but you know, as much as I'm not a Wyatt family fan, I would love to see that. And then the Wyatts turned to face Roman Reigns. Shane came out, said that he liked what was going on there and set up the main event, which is going to be two members of the League of Nations versus Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. I'll admit I was kind of intrigued to see how this would play out, you know, given the fact that they've, you know, never got on. So I was expecting quite a decent main event. Then there were another video of Primo and Epico doing like a travel advert for Puerto Rico. They did a couple last week. I don't know what the crack is, whether it's them coming back minus the Matador masks and they're just going to come back, have a couple of good wins and then become jobbers again, or what. Dr. Phil came to ringside just in time for the Natalya-Charlotte match. Before this started, I was 99% sure that Charlotte would retain and more than likely Ric Flair would get involved. Great match, absolutely amazing match. Once again, ruined by Flair. Natalya won by DQ after Flair pulled the ref out. Charlotte was tapping to the sharpshooter. So again, yeah, like I said earlier, Ric Flair getting involved. There's no need for him. Charlotte is perfectly capable of doing a whole heel thing on her own. So she don't really need him there. I think this is just Ric dying to be back in the limelight again. And Charlotte's his only way of doing it now. Which is sad, really. So, yeah. But having said that, the match itself was great. And if this is a sign of things to come, I'm all for it, you know, especially now we're going to get women's wrestling. And the bonus of this is now the division looks like it's going to be Bella free. Bree's retired. Nikki's injured. I don't know if she'll come back. I mean, I wouldn't wish an injury on her as much as I don't like her, but I'm kind of hoping she'll retire now so we can actually get some proper women's wrestlers in there. Get rid of Eva Marie because, you know, stick her in NXT and just let her be a jobber to them that can wrestle. Anyway, I digress. So then there's a recap of Owens attacking Zayn last week and cost him his place in the Fatal 4-Way. Sami Zayn gets interviewed by Renee Young. Oh, Renee Young, she's so sweet. Zayn said he was ready for the match, etc. And Styles appeared and told him right about what he said. Zayn said something about, you know, all the tables and power bombs in the world couldn't get rid of his heart, and so Styles agreed with him. But he did say that he, AJ Styles, is the only number one contender and it's going to stay that way. Then we had another match in the tag team tournament, which was the Usos versus Curtis Axel and Heath Slater. I thought before this match started that the Usos would come out victorious. When the match started, the Outcast looked good until they started doing the bow chain, got back into the ring, and then they got rolled up for the pin. Can't remember which Uso it was that pinned who, to be honest. But yeah, that gave the, as I thought, Uso victory. What I didn't expect, and what will explain this t-shirt, was for Carl Anderson and Gallows. I know there's going to be Doc Gallows or Luke Gallows or what, to attack the Usos. They came out of nowhere, and well, I was saying attack, they destroyed the Usos. It was awesome. absolutely awesome. This now sets up the question. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're going to reunite the Bullet Club with AJ Styles." As much as I'd like to see that, I don't think it'd work, given that AJ is #1 contender for the world title. Now, unless Anderson and Gallows get involved and cost Reigns the title and give AJ the win and then reunite, I don't know. Or are they going to go down to NXT and join up with Finn Balor, who was one of the original members, or whatever, of the original Bullet Club? Or will WWE go another way and completely ignore the whole Bullet Club thing? God knows how they can, though, because the amount of t-shirts that are showing up in that crowd now, and the fact that Finn Balor's Instagramming and tweeting pictures of himself wearing Bullet Club t-shirts. I had heard that Vince had tried to buy the Bullet Club name from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Don't know how true it is, because again, it was on the internet. But yeah, either way, I can't wait to see what happens with this, whether they go Bullet Club like 2.0, whether they go Balor Club, or whether they just keep Anderson and Gallows as a tag team in their own right. And, like I said, forget all the history. I don't know. But either way, main roster, Bullet Club style, or NXT Balor Club, just a new tag team on the scene, and they're ready to make an impact and more than capable. No longer is Gallows going to be lumbered with the Festus gimmick, or CM Punk's lacking the straight edge society. He's going to be a main event star in his own right, and him and Carl Anderson are just an awesome team. So yeah, I really can't wait to see sort of which way this is going to go. So yeah, there was a recap of the Cesaro Owens match, and then it went backstage to Miz and his streetwalker wife Maryse. They were doing this crap thing with Maryse kicking off with some lackey backstage about how Miz had demanded M&Ms, but he didn't want any blue M&Ms, and the water that he had was just normal generic. It wasn't mineral water or anything. This whole segment was as pointless as Miz and Maryse themselves, in my opinion. Jojo came in to ask Miz how he felt about facing Cesaro. Miz gave some crap about being the Swiss Superman's kryptonite, and then redid it again as if he were doing it in a movie line in like 3 takes. And thankfully Cesaro interrupted and told him basically that he's going to be taking the IC title at Payback, and I really hope it's true, because I'm already sick of seeing Miz with that title, and I'm sick of seeing his streetwalker wife back as well. She did nothing when she was there. She was annoying, and she's even more annoying now. The next match was AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Another match where I'm a fan of both guys, but more of a Styles fan. I expected a great match, and I wasn't disappointed. They absolutely tore it up. AJ eventually got the win, but both guys were just amazing in this match, and both of them should get, as they have done, absolute plaudits for the match that they pulled off. There was another backstage segment with Shane thanking AJ and Sami for an awesome match, and quite rightly so. Styles and Zayn shook hands, and I think Zayn's parting words to Styles were good luck. I'm assuming that meant towards his title shot at Paperback. Then we had Jericho highlight reel, and Jericho came out introducing his guest as a multiple-time world champion, WrestleMania main eventer, and future Hall of Famer, and his guest was himself. He then started asking himself questions and answering them, and then thankfully he got interrupted by Ambrose, who gave him a piece of paper saying that he got this directly. Then it turned out to be a speeding ticket, so Ambrose took it back saying, "Oh, I'm going to need that." Pulled out another piece of paper, in which Jericho read out loud saying that as of tonight the highlight reel was cancelled, and then Ambrose stuck up a pot plant and then stuck a sign over the Jerrytron which said Ambrose Asylum. So yeah, he put on a clip-on tie, and it was all set to interview Chris Jericho. His first question, and was a valid question, it was a very serious question for Ambrose, was what's with the scarf? And Jericho got a bit nacked about this. That led to a bit of a verbal, which led to a bit of a brawl, and then Ambrose hit Jericho with the Dirty Deeds, but he did it with the original version when they go face down, as opposed to like the Butterfly DDT version. I think it was that way around anyway. But anyway, he hit him with Dirty Deeds, which was awesome. We had a backstage segment with Golden Truth and Dr. Phil, basically. Goldust having a go at R-Truth about something on SmackDown. Like I said, I don't watch SmackDown, so I don't know what's what. Although, having said that, a lot of NXT stars, like I've said, are coming on to SmackDown, so I might start watching it again. But yeah, there was this backstage segment with Golden Truth and Dr. Phil, which basically with Dr. Phil just walking away like, I can't even sort this out. Went back to the ring, and Apollo Crews versus Adam Rose was the next match. Another impressive outing from Crews. Wasn't a long match, but it was a good one. Then we had another tourist information video about Puerto Rico from Primo and Epica. Epica. There was a Baron Corbin promo video, which led into a Bray Wyatt video, and then him basically announcing that he were there. Everybody made their entrances for the main event. And so, yeah, the main event started. Reigns and Bray versus Sheamus and Del Rio. I wasn't expecting much, and I was expecting Bray to leave Roman Reigns high and dry at some point, or just refuse to tag, or just basically just hit Reigns with a move, walk off, and give League of Nations the win. It looked at one point like he was gonna. Reigns was sort of hesitating with a tag, and Bray were looking at him with a grin. Anyway, Reigns tagged him in, Bray came in, and then there was some outside interference from Rusev. He basically kicked Bray Wyatt in the head, and that almost cost Roman and Bray the match. The lights went out, they played the little video thing, and then the lights come back on to reveal Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan beating up Rusev. Bray and Roman got the win after Wyatt hit Del Rio with Sister Abigail, and I can honestly say I enjoyed the match. Don't know what it was, but there was something about this week's Raw that sort of sparked my interest in Bray Wyatt again. I don't know which direction they're going to go in, and I've spent ages bitching about him, and I'm not going to be one of those people that jumps on the bandwagon, because when he was in NXT, I loved him. When he came to Raw, I thought it was great. Then they just seem to run out of ideas to give him all these crap stuff, but he's rolled with it, he's done everything. But on Monday, I found myself pulling for Bray when he was in the ring. So yeah, a feeling that I've not had for a while, in a bit of come on Bray, and stuff like that. But yeah, I can honestly say I enjoyed this week's Raw more than last week's Post-Mania Raw. I'm liking how they've gone to a more matches announced on the night, as opposed to, and next week we will see kind of approach, because that way people are more inclined to tune in if they don't know what's going to happen. If you don't announce the week after's matches, they think, well, what's going to happen? What's fallout with it? What's going? So they tune in, and I think that's basically what WWE has been missing. That sort of what's going to happen next. Giving people next week's matches, and a lot of people going, I'm not really bothered about that, so they don't watch it, and they'll watch highlights somewhere else. Whereas if you don't mention it and you keep them guessing, people are going to tune in. So yeah, that was my review of this week's Raw, and coming up next is the second part of my video. So for now, guys, I'll say bye. Okay guys, so here's part 2 of this video. I apologise if it drags on. I'll try and keep it as quick as I can. Basically, I'm just going to do a quick recap from my IC video, and I promise you this is leading up to something. So basically, I have been a wrestling fan since about the 80s, and if you've watched my video about how I got into wrestling, you'll know that I've dipped in and out, lost touch with it through various points in time, but I've always managed to get back into it. So during the 80s, one of my favourite belts, and one of the most favourite belts amongst a lot of wrestling fans and amongst just belt collectors ever, is the Reggie Park styled IC title, which replaced the old but ugly one that Tito Santana won. Tito Santana won from Don Morocco, and they replaced it with a different design completely. Randy Savage won the title, used Brasso polish on the belt to try and buff it up, absolutely destroyed the gold plating and ruined it. The belt looks absolutely awful, so it was replaced in 1988 with a new version of the same design, and this was during while the Honky Tonk Man was doing his record-setting reign with the strap, and it was replaced with this. Now this is the newest addition to my replica collection, and it is a belt I have been after for absolutely years. I absolutely love it. It's the belt that was made really famous during the golden era of wrestling. A lot of people call it the Hulkamania era. I just call it the golden era because Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a massive Hogan fan. And it was classed as the workers' title. There were many great matches fought over this championship, and going back to the 80s, holding the IC title at that point actually meant something. So yeah, I've been chasing this belt for a long time. I finally managed to get one. It's been in a trade deal, so I've obviously had to sacrifice a belt for a belt, but it don't bother me at all because this is something I've been chasing for years. The belt isn't perfect. There are a couple of scratches on it and there's a little bit of tarnish on it, but it's nothing that a little bit of TLC won't sort. So yeah, this is a belt I grew up as a kid watching a lot of my favourites defend or fight for. Some of who can I think of? Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, obviously the Honky Tonk Man, like I mentioned. Randy Savage held a variation of this. The Ultimate Warrior held this belt, and yeah, I just remember some absolutely great matches being fought for this. One of my favourite views for this belt was Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. Just remember watching many matches with my dad and those two just giving it their all. And then as I got older, certainly more mature, I got a whole new appreciation for the Savage Steamboat match at WrestleMania 3 where Steamboat won the title. I remember the SummerSlam in 1988, which was on the first wrestling VHS that I got, which my nan bought me, where the Ultimate Warrior defeated Rick Rude in 30 seconds to win this belt. Obviously, British Bulldog beating Bret Hart at SummerSlam 92 at Wembley in London. And as I mentioned in my Roddy Piper tribute video, which I don't know if any of you have seen, if not, go check that out. The match Piper and Bret had at WrestleMania 8 was great, especially the pre-match promos. And obviously Piper winning the title at Royal Rumble 92. Now, what made this belt even more, well, the fact that I've always wanted it was obviously a good enough reason to trade for it, given what I was trading for it. The mega bonus to this belt is that it is actually signed by Hot Rod. Now, I asked around before I did the trade to find out if the autograph was legit, and I've been told it is by a guy who's got lots of stuff signed by him. He says it's authentic. Even if it hadn't been, I would have maybe just got a new strap or had the signature, wipes off. But that was just a bit of a bonus. Anybody who knows me, and like I've said in previous videos, knows I'm not a massive fan of getting belts signed. It's not something I'd ever go out of my way for. Although this is now the second belt I own that is autographed. The first one being my AJ Styles X Division one. So yeah, there you have it, folks. This is my brand new, well, new to me, WWF IC title. Like I said, there are a couple of scratches on it and a little bit of damage on the main plate, but nothing major. I can just, sort that out. It didn't have a gold tip, but I've rectified that thanks to another belt of mine donating its tip. But yeah, I'll do a video and on my phone and post that at the end of this bit here, so you can have a good look at the, decent look at the belt. So yeah, again, that's it for this video, guys. So that's my new belt. This was the real reason I was going to do a video today, but then I decided, when the guy messaged me and said that he posted it and I would be receiving it today, I figured I might as well do it on my Raw video as well and tag them both together. So yeah, that's that video done. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you've got any friends who you think might enjoy my channel. Please feel free to spread the love. Yeah, that'll do it for me till next time. I don't know what I'm going to do a video of next time. So this one kind of came out of the blue, but I have a couple of pre-recorded things that if need be I can throw them up. So yeah, but like I said, that'll do it for now, guys. This is my new belt. Really chuffed I've got it. So yeah, like I said, I'll do a video on my phone. It might not be brilliant quality, but I'll do it on my phone and I'll post that up after I've finished waffling on. So yeah, for now, guys, that'll do it for me. So as always, take care and I'll catch you later. Okay, guys, as you can see, there's the signature. Move on to the plates. The strap's a little bit warm, but that's no major problem. The main plate. Onto the other side plates. A little WWF badge there, the Intercontinental going on, and there's the gold strap. So that's it, guys. That's my new belt. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Bye.